So first, Ongolo is for all Africans, regardless of race, religion, age, political affiliation, and etc. And the reason I'm saying this is when I posted the survey on Proudly African, people were not sure whether I meant Black people or Africans. And I needed to clarify that I mean everyone in Africa, regardless of their race. And that's quite important, especially in these times where Black Lives Matter is very topical. And I think it was a valid comment, because when I reflect on all the people that I've interviewed, majority of them have been Black. And I think that's what's led to the conclusion that this is a blog for Black Africans. And I want to categorically say that is not the case. And I will be more mindful as I do the interviews going forward. The second point is that this is also a blog that interests people who are non-Africans and are interested in seeing Africa do well. It's really important that I add that qualification, because it's not a blog for people who want to come here and confirm that Africa is poor, that Africa has problems. Yes, we have problems. Yes, we're poor, but that's not the objective of the blog. The blog really seeks to see how we can uplift Africans. And it's really important that the people who are coming onto the site support that mission. I'm also interested in attracting people who are progressive, positive thinkers, and doers. And I say this because a lot of the times I talk about why is Africa being held back? What is holding us back? Why can't we actually see the Africa that we believe that we're capable of realizing? And people will say, oh, but we're colonized. And I'll say, yes, I agree, we were colonized. But when living in Asia, one of the things that I've noticed is that Africa and Asia have a shared history on colonialism. We're all colonized by pretty much the same countries. But then Asia actually had even more than that, than what Africa experienced, in terms of they had the invasion by Japan, and then they had a lot of wars like Vietnam War. You've got the South and North Korea divide. You had civil war in Cambodia, and they had a lot of problems. But Asian countries have sort of made peace, or not made peace, but they then don't have the same hung up about colonialism that Africa seems to have. So we still teach our children in schools and universities that colonialism is the reason we haven't developed, even though we've been independent for 50, 60 years. So where is the ownership? Where is the personal accountability for what we have achieved in the past 50 years? And I say this, that if Singapore at independence, when they had no resources, nothing, had sat back and said, we were colonized, we were invaded by Japan, they would not be the country they are today. And I think it's really high time that us as Africans acknowledge our history. That's why the history classes. But we need to really figure out what we're doing today for Africa of the present and Africa of the future. And we'll only do that if we have progressive and positive thinkers, but also people who do. Because if there's one thing we're very good at, is armchair critics. So we know everything that's gone wrong. We actually even have a lot of great solutions. But when it comes to doing, we seem to hold back. And I really want to engage people who can push through barriers and actually make small changes. I'm not talking about turning Zambia into Singapore overnight, but let's at least make step changes, be it stop using cash and start using cards or mobile money. Let's just see some progress, even if it's within our own individual homes or our own individual communities. But the point is, we need to all start to drive change. The fourth point is I want to explore the world outside politics. And I say this because politics is a big factor in Africa, but it's also part of the problem that we have in Africa today. And you will see that actually with the survey results. So I have deliberately stayed away from politics on this blog, because I think there's a whole world in the private sector, the not-for-profit, that can actually help us, achieve our goals. And then the last point is Pan-African mindset. That's super important. So